Welcome one and all back to Kale's Tales. Today's episode, I'd like to review probably my most favorite episode of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. It's both that and the Halloween special are both my favorites. This one in particular had a real effect on me, and you probably know the one I'm talking about. Monster Hunt premiered on Nickelodeon in 2003. For those who remember, the Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius movie premiered in 2001. About 23 years ago. It's weird that the movie's that old. It was one of, I'm not saying one of the first, but this was early on of CG computer animation that would give us, before they would give us Toy Story of Pixar, Ants and Shrek of DreamWorks, and this is one of those and Jimmy Neutron is one of those that came well, and both the CG and the storytelling and the writing absolutely clever. I can tell you that. That's what they'll get to. With Jimmy Neutron, both movie and series, with that and Rocky and Bullwinkle have in common is the animation isn't so hot. But clever writing, really hilarious, good joke writing, I'll tell you that. And even in 2003, I believe, they were nominated at the Academy Awards and were presented by Nathan Lane.
Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, Steve Odekirk, and John A. Davis.
One of the reasons why I want to talk about Monster Hunt is I remember it faithfully. It kind of gave me my big phobia of monsters in the ocean. Before I watched Jaws of that wretched great white, this was doing a parody of Jaws, the Monster Hunt episode. It kind of reminded me, how Mad Magazine would do a parody of a movie back in the day that you couldn't see because it was R-rated. And that's what Jimmy Neutron would do. So it's a parody of Jaws, but a little bit more funnier. It's 10 minutes, but it gave me an effect, particularly of how they made the monster, very intimidating. It kind of gave me this phobia. I think it's called thalassophobia. And so whenever I'm sure you guys feel this way too. Whether you're on a cruise or on a boat, or any event on a boat, and you just stare at the water for a long period of time, you never know what's going to come out of that water. Anyway, as Jimmy Neutron, it's pretty simple. The pitch is pretty simple. This young boy who has the high IQ of Einstein, and he's he's this incredible genius and trapped inside the body of a kid. And he and his friends Carl Weezer and Sheen Estevez, they go on adventures with him. They steal the show quite a lot with his robotic dog Goddard, and he's in this amazing dysfunctional world, which seems to fit the environment really. And this has aged well. You can watch on DVD on Paramount Plus. Anyway, right to the episode, shall we? Even the music here has its own intimidating theme, and this ain't no John Williams. Even that whole shot there of under Miss Fowl seemed pretty intimidating because you really don't know what's under that water. So, I know it's only I wouldn't say this is a dark episode, but there are small elements that spook me a little bit. And here you have it is Miss Fowl, and I think her on again, off again boyfriend Sam, voiced by Billy West, they're out in the middle of the ocean, whichever ocean it is. I guess it doesn't really matter. And let's be honest, they're clearly doing a parody of Jaws here, if you quite see here. Always love Andrea Martin's Miss Fowl voice, and she's an underrated actress, I believe, and I know some people remember for her voice work there.
Winnie? Where are you? Winnie!
And that's the thing too, is as a little kid that kind of made my eyes widen, because you don't know what's under that water when you're swimming in the middle of the ocean, and that's some of the nightmares I not often but would occasionally have, because you really don't know if it's a shark or something that's going to get you. That'll drag that's strong. That'll drag you down there, and like you don't know where in God's name she went. It's kind of a chilling thing to really think about when you get older and self-aware of these. And so, as the younger viewers or younger audience, you can already tell this how big this thing is. You can already see like the hand; it's green with claws, and it's strong enough to really smash a boat and pour Sam's in the water. And clearly they're okay. You always make clear, no, they're fine. We need them for more episodes for their own comedy, their own spotlight. Like, well, clearly Nickelodeon wouldn't end them, because they're both hilarious. I'll tell you that much.
Mayor of Retroville, I refuse to let some hideous moss-sucking lake monster destroy us.
And just like the Jaws movie, the whole council is there. The whole like Retroville citizens are there discussing what you should do about the sea monster. This character here, I don't know if it's like the mayor. It's probably the mayor. I know it's voiced by Jim Cummings, and he kind of looks a lot like Casey Kasem, when you really put the two and two together, but with a mustache. I don't know if it's like Jim's bad impression of Casey Kasem. I always got the expression that was the Kaser. Top 40, top 140. Can we stop that again? And stop at a death dedication.
I give you the lake monster.
I always got the expression, it's kind of a body-shaming joke. Slightly hilariously mean-spirited. Especially when Cindy Lucid latches it on herself, which the joke works. It works like, and everyone screams like, oh god, those calves! Like, come on.
Cyclotron with that. Mr. Mayor, what if I can prove that the lake monster doesn't exist?
Well, I could transfer the money to the Prove the Monster.
And so here you go, the hero of the show, Jimmy Neutron, voiced by Debbie Derryberry, who was the voice of Draculara on Monster High. She is one of my personal favorites, Tad from The Leapfrog. Learn something new every day. And she was in F is for Family and other amazing shows there. Anyway, our character Jimmy, trying to prove like, oh, this is all bull crap. This lake monster doesn't exist. I'm gonna prove it, because I guess he's scientist, and I guess he's like an atheist, I guess, and so he and Carl is his like team mascots. Carl and Sheen go with him to get ready to do a parody of Jaws. I'm not gonna say Jaws a handful of times, but they're on a mission to prove that the monster doesn't exist.
My best friend, but I was allergic to him. So I had to release him right here on this beach. And ever since, the lake has filled me with feelings of...
So here you get like a 10, 15 second little flashback from Carl of he used to have this, pet sea turtle named Snappy, and the fun joke is the turtle gave him allergies. Apparently he's allergic to everything, I guess, and he had to let poor Snappy go and do the same ocean, which sounds like a little bit of foreshadowing. A little bit, but it's a little bit here. And Carl usually is a fan favorite. I would see I'm the fan art all the time, Carlin. He's probably probably one of my favorite and Nick characters.
Looking for the creature.
I seen the monster with me own eyes. 50 feet it was from peak to tail. Eyes black as pitch, like a doll's eyes.
They prefer to be called action figures.
And here you have one of their regular characters in Jimmy Neutron, Captain Betty, clearly a parody on the movie You Know What, and doing like Robert Shaw's character, like Quinn, except he's more demented. He's kind of like it's kind of like Robert Shaw on drugs, but nicer in a way. And he voiced by the great Jim Cummings, who's been the voice of Winnie the Pooh since the 90s. He's voiced of Tigger, took over for Paul Winchell when he was getting too old to voice Tigger. The Tasmanian Devil, Darkwing Duck. He was in one of the guards in Aladdin. I think the Eggman guy and Sonic the Hedgehog. He Fleshy Lumpkins on the Powerpuff Girls, Ray the Firefly, Princess and the Frog, Cat and Cat Dog. So many other amazing voices. And one of the things he's known for is his great Louisiana Cajun accent that he nails spot on. And that's one of the things I remember him by. And he does a good, hilarious job as Captain Betty here.
Yar! Gadgets go in the water. You go in with the gadgets. Monster in the water. Our monster.
Wait, who goes in the water?
You do.
Why does the monster go in with the gadgets?
No, the monster goes in with the water.
Our monster?
Arr!
I gotta know what to say there. This joke is perfect. Reminds me of Who's on First with Abbott and Costello. Whenever I mention French references like this, I sound like an old man. Hell, I'm 22. I know what that means.
Are you out of your mind?
Listen, you fancy talking little Montgomery. You're wasted Captain Betty.
Some parts they really do take from parody of Jaws, and like this scene here, where Captain Betty smashes Jimmy's equipment. It's like, science, damn you! Is when Quinn smashes up the technology on the boat, and which pisses off Roy Schneider's character. It's like, you got us lost, you idiot. It's kind of like that, really.
Excuse me, Chief. That's great! That's just great! Down into its hideous gullet. Have you ever heard a sea monkey scream, Chief? It's a high-pitched, almost annoying kind of sound.
What really gobsmacked me is that really gave me a chill up the spine, and kind of was guys spooked of, so 9 monkeys were in the water, and you see a little bit of a spooky, intimidating look out of Captain Betty here. I know this episode is 10 minutes long, but there are some small, darker elements, like all these monkeys were eaten up by the beast, and we get a glimpse of what the sea monster looks like. And it's kind of a dark thing that, like, really, like, Miss Fowl and Sam survived, but the monkeys were all eaten up. It's like these poor, like, animals were kind of eaten up and killed. It's kind of a dark thing to think about once you really think about it, if I'm being kind of honest. And like, poor.
Hi there, sport. Just dumping some of the runoff from your lab.
But Dad, that's highly contaminated chemical sludge. How long have you been doing this?
The last few years or so. Yeah. Well, you're getting rolling. Bye-bye now.
Okay, I've got a few freaking questions myself. Well, before that, that's Hugh Neutron, Jimmy's dad, who is a fan favorite in the Jimmy Neutron fan community. And he is very funny in this. And in some episodes, he does have his moments. First off, how exactly does he get into Jimmy's lab? Like, doesn't Jimmy have better security? And second, how would a boy genius keep all of this toxic radiation chemicals in his lab? And why would he keep that for himself? And how would the father, of all places to dump it, it'd be right in the middle of the ocean at the exact time his son and his friends are looking for in the middle of the ocean. 3, he said he's been doing it for years. How is he not in jail? How is this guy getting away with this for so long? 4, he rode all this way from, I don't know how far the Retroville dock is from the boat. It looks like they're in the middle of nowhere in the ocean. This is like 5 seconds before the monster attacks. And he just like disappears. Like, won't the monster eat him in the boat? Like, how does this all make sense? I feel like it kind of fits in this world. Like, you wonder, like, does this make sense? Do we just accept it? It's like, if it works, it works. We have the picture in our head, I guess.
Jimmy, I think we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Well, there you go. The line that, from the movie, you know what. And we get the introduction of the sea turtle. It's one of the main reasons I really want to talk about this episode in particular, which gave me my big fear, of course. And the roars here is voiced by the legendary Frank Welker, one of my favorite funny people. He who has been the voice of Fred Jones in the Scooby-Doo since 1969. Still voices Fred to this day. And he's been voice of Scooby since 2002. There were other people who voiced Scooby. Well, he also got, Slimer from Ghostbusters, Megatron, and the Transformers. He is Raja and Abu and Aladdin. He's done so many great monster voices. And growing up, I can always tell when it was him. Oswald, the Lucky Rabbit in Epic Mickey. One of my personal favorites is Oswald. And took over did a few Garfield stuff too, before I forget. He's like the Garfield Show and other things for him. So, Frank Welker, if you like to look up his resume, it is long. Wow, kill off Camp Betty? You got balls, Nickelodeon. In Jaws, in the movie, the one scene I always think of is when the shark looks like he's about to give Quinn the shark BJ or just sink deep into him. I won't get too much in detail. You can watch the movie yourself. It's 4 years old. But this is a very good joke here. The monster somehow rips Sheen's pants right off, and he wears like Captain Ultra Lord underpants, which is a very hilarious joke there. There is humor in this. There really is. And they all somehow fit in 10 minutes. And I find this a painfully underrated shot here. This like early CGI, like 2003, and they nail with making, the Snappy, the sea monster. Oh, before I forget, I'm sorry. Apparently, Snappy, Carl's pet turtle, is the monster that Hughes Neutron's radiation got into, and so he's the monster apparently. And this is a great shot, by the way, of the ocean and the monster in the ocean. That's what got my oh god. There's something like that probably still is deep in the ocean that we don't know about. Really.
But he should have been trapped inside the ice. What happened?
Whoop, Gobi. 10 points. Yeah, this did it. This was the one that gave me my phobia, thalassophobia of monsters in the ocean. John A. Davis and the team the animators nailed it at making this monster look intimidating, and this the one footage shot that really haunted me of the ocean in my dreams, and Mr. Welker nailed it at this giant booming monster voice, coming up at you. And can you imagine being a parent and cleaning up the kid shit that's all over your living room. Like, all right, no more Jimmy Neutron for a while. And like, no, here's the thing. Was it Jaws that scared me? No. Was it that Moby Dick remake in 2010 scared me? No. Was it Meg 1 and 2 that terrified me? No, it was this Jimmy Neutron episode that gave me my fear of what's not of the ocean, but what's underneath it. And they, looking it back, like, this is pretty awesome. They nailed it on the thing, on me getting scared. Like, great applause to you, DNA Productions. Applause.
You did it, Carl! You demutated Snappy!
Aw, see, look, Snappy's okay.
Snappy!
Aye, the beast spewed me out of its belly at the last minute.
Well, Captain, guess you were right about the...
Oh, do you mean Snappy shit his brains out? Right when he was attacking you guys? If he squeezed out this elderly, insane, like schizophrenic old man out of this turtle butt? Hey, no, oh, by the way, turtles breathe out through their butts. I'm just throwing that fact out there. It's true. Google it. Anyway, there's a lot of small questions besides that. Is like, so like, is it Tiny Snappy that pooped you out, or the overgrown monster pooped Captain Betty out? And clearly this is Nick, so they wouldn't kill off Captain Betty, because he is pretty funny. But at least they see everybody lives. They're all happy.
Through the night sun is quite lame, for we received orders to sail to Pacoima.
See, and there you go. That was Monster Hunt. But the one I always think of is that always was tattooed in my brain was the Snappy, the turtle monster scenes, which were they great at scaring the living crap out of me. And to this day, not all the time, I would have like sleep paralysis dreams of the ocean, or it's some sort of made up monster, or a overgrown megalodon. Like that Snappy turtle, that Snappy monster, he would eat up that megalodon right up. I bet my money on it for sure. And so this probably is one of my favorite ones in the Jimmy Neutron series. And I always wanted to cover it, and I wonder, like, why don't they talk about this? This is pretty funny, pretty good. And so, what do you think? What is your favorite Jimmy Neutron episode? If it's not this one, do you have any favorites? Well, got a blast, right?